from the Southeastern Conference historical record. How much does a moment mean to history? Robert E. Lee surrendering to the Union at Appomattox was a moment. Peyton Manning announcing he'd come back to Tennessee, a moment. But the beginning is a moment as well. There comes a time in the life of every young man living in Dixie between the Appalachians and the Mississippi that they pick up that orange sword and assume the mantle of their father's identity. Tennesseans are storytellers. While many of our southern kin made their livings on iron production or mining coal, the centers of economic development in our state were built on rhythm and blues and country western. Because of this fact, our beloved Vols are just that, storied. Center stage is kneeling. And while young quarterbacks who might have played in Nebraska or Michigan Stadium think they're ready for the big time, they often crumble. Rising from the Tennessee River, the general foretold what this place would be, but he couldn't have known the spirit within. When in the maxims of football he told us to protect our kickers, our QB, our lead, and our ball game, he didn't know Peyton. And when he implored us to play for and make the breaks, he left this earth long before 1998. At Tennessee, our statues are of our coaches. Instead of a bronze Reggie White diving to destroy an offense, we have a kneeling General Neyland and a glaring Pat Summitt. Because Knoxville is a city where the past is not easily forgotten. Amidst this modern college town, a fog of old industry and tradition abide. A World's Fair from generations past and rock and roll concert halls begging to be played by the legends one last time. But when we run out onto our field through the pride of the Southland band forming that familiar T, we don't just rest on where we've been. Only Vols fans could consider a down arrow one in which our hero became the greatest pro quarterback in NFL history, and our conference became not only the envy of the nation, but the standard of our sport. And yet we fight to be the best ourselves. To the volunteer fan base, the prestige of Alabama isn't a gaudy ceiling, but a reminder of who we are and what we were. In fact, the general once said that on the third Saturday of October, when the leaves begin to change, these boys turn into men. He said this because after a lifetime of leading troops to battle on the gridiron and theaters of war, he knew that the rivalry in which Southern football was built upon could never die. Long before LSU and Florida rose to power, Tennessee was there. We were there with coonskin hats at the Alamo. We were there with Jackson's Army in New Orleans. For the volunteer state is an eternal beacon of principles held in opposition. The spirit of the frontier married to the spirit of home and the tradition of moving forward, coupled with the truth that from now until forever, when a receiver streaks down our sideline, a voice in the back of our minds will exclaim, "Give him 6. Touchdown, Big R."